How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Deuces Wild. I'm Ethan Hanson, your host, and if you haven't noticed, buzz my hair in honor of cancer awareness. So let's get to the topics where I talk about sports as long as I can until time runs out, and we will start off with Aaron Hernandez, who was today convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. And you look at this case, and Aaron Hernandez was a troubled player from the very beginning. It was why he was drafted fourth round out of Florida. An obvious talent, one of the best talents that the Patriots had, a great rookie season. And, if he had just stayed away from his lifestyle, he could have been one of the great tandems along with Rob Gronkowski, and maybe even talked about as one of those great NFL players. But it's sad what happens to great talent. But what's even more sad is the fact that both him and Odin Lloyd was a young man himself, not even getting to have a family, had a girlfriend, and he was about to start a family, and his life was cut short, and you just got to wonder about how a family like that moves forward. And this really isn't a sports story. This is a murder case that involved a professional athlete who, during his brief time in that league, was a phenomenal talent, but all that going to be thrown into the life in prison. So now, moving on to the 3-6 Nationals. Now, are the Nationals a 3-6 team? Will they miss the playoffs? It is way too early to say what this Nationals team is going to do. They're 3-6. They played some terrible defense. I mean, it's kind of, you get kind of nervous when you have Dan Uggla playing second base, but a team that can score runs, a team that won 10-5 yesterday against a pretty high-powered offensive Red Sox squad. So anybody that's pushing the panic button just because they're 3-6, is everybody wrong? I would say wait about another 42 games before anybody else comes to that conclusion. And if they're just hanging above the radar, if they are less than 5 games below 500 by the time we reach that 42, 43 game plateau, then it might be something to talk about. But this 2015 baseball season is very early. Now, moving on to Stephen Curry, who, in my opinion, is the best player in the NBA next to Russell Westbrook, who has just done a tremendous job in terms of his overall game in the absence of Kevin Durant. He's had a bunch of triple-doubles. He has been scoring like a madman. But Stephen Curry hitting 94 out of 100 three-pointers, including 77 straight. Now, do I believe that happened? You're just going to have to ask the media people and the players that were there. But it would not surprise me, because Stephen Curry, the way that he shoots, breaking his own season records, I mean, that is almost unheard of. And with the way numbers are just talked about and how they are looked at today, to break your own record within an own NBA season, it just truly talks and speaks to the talent that Stephen Curry really has. Now, am I impressed with that? Yes, I am, but what I would be more impressed with is if next year he defended his three-point title crown and he went for Chris Hodges' 1991 record. In 1991, Chris Hodges won the NBA three-point contest, and he hit 19 in a row. Now, how many has Stephen Curry hit? How many in a row has he hit during a three-point contest? He has hit 13. So if you're able to hit 20 three-pointers in a row at the NBA All-Star festivities, at the three-point contest, then Mr. Curry, you can then crown yourself as the best shooter of all time. Not that he isn't right now, per se, but if you want that ultimate title, you can say to yourself, in 2016, I hit 20 three-pointers in a row. So Stephen Curry is the man. He's one of the MVP choices. Not my MVP choice, just because of the fact that Russell Westbrook has taken this league by storm and is literally the only reason why the Thunder are still in playoff contention. Maybe, but Stephen Curry, the best three-point shooter in basketball and the best shooter in all the world. So now, moving on to Yasiel Puig's backflip issue and how he has reportedly come out to the LA Times and said that he is going to reduce the number of backflips. And let's just say that I think that Yasiel Puig reducing the backflips isn't necessarily a bad idea. It doesn't come from Brian McCann, who is basically off of Yasiel Puig's radar right now due to the fact that you look at Brian McCann, who started a fight after Yasiel Puig in his rookie year hit a home run against Atlanta, the team that he was playing with, and he took some issue with that. But for Brian McCann, for this issue to even be about Brian McCann at all and saying that it's a lack of professionalism, let's just look at McCann's batting average in the past 4 seasons. McCann is hitting 230, 256, 232, and 227 this year with the Yankees. It doesn't speak as much about Brian McCann as I think it talks about, the more mature Yasiel Puig is trying to become. A new clubhouse that's got veterans like Howie Kendrick and Jamie Rollins, who, after a couple of bad seasons in Philadelphia, is really providing a nice veteran presence for the Dodgers and playing a solid shortstop despite being 35 years old. He's playing well. The Dodgers have won 3 of 4. So, early. But in terms of the bat flip, Puig shouldn't stop doing the bat flip because of what people have said in the past, calling it unprofessional. But you gotta act like you've been there before. And if you want to earn that bat flip as well, then you gotta put up numbers like Giancarlo Stanton, who has hit 37 home runs. When you get into that 30 home run range, and when you actually hit a home run in the home run derby, something that he failed to do in his one appearance as a home run derby contestant, then you know what? Bat flip all you want. But he's trying to become more professional. It's not necessarily that he's easing with what people are calling, an old man's game, that there's not enough showmanship. I just think that, he's trying to make a page, trying to turn the page, trying to be more mature to try to have him see in a better light. So now, moving on to the last thing that we're going to talk about before time runs out, and that is Freddie Roach ripping Floyd Mayweather, calling it an embarrassment that he didn't show up on time to his pre-fight workout, and that Mayweather will be 47-1 once he gets done with Manny Pacquiao. Now, let me just remind everybody, I still have Manny Pacquiao winning this fight just because I think that Mayweather is really going to go for the knockout. And if you size him up pound for pound in terms of punching power, I think Pacquiao has got Floyd Mayweather beat. But still, this is Floyd Mayweather, who is undefeated. Undefeated. And it is a major difference between watching him fight in the ring on TV and then being in the ring when you watch him fight for real. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is one of the fastest athletes that is probably one of the fastest, if not the fastest boxer to ever step in the ring, with the way that he moves his hands, his footwork. And I'm just saying, if you're Freddie Roach, there's already been enough jabber. There's already been enough chit-chat before this pre-fight. Before Manny Pacquiao is about to fight this undefeated, one of the greatest boxers of all time, before this matchup is going to go, I would say, Freddie Roach, don't feed the beast, because you might get what's coming to you from Mr. Money. So that will wrap things up. The last thing that I want to say is, did anybody see those new Cleveland Browns jerseys? I come from the San Fernando Valley, Woodland Hills, Los Angeles area, and I have to say, the Cleveland high school jerseys have got more style and more flair than the garbage that is going on in Cleveland. And I think that Cleveland just needs to stop overthinking it, do your thing, get back to your old jerseys, because those things look like, how would I say? They look like high school. Oh yeah, they look like high school hand-me-downs. Anyway, that was me thinking about Cleveland, and this has been Deuces Wild. Check me out on YouTube and follow me at Scooby the Announcer on Instagram, and follow me at Ethan A. Hanson on Twitter. Thanks for tuning in to Deuces Wild, and I'll see you next week.